this one is big. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Venison Jeffrey again. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today is the 27th of the 4th month, 2025. Now, this is something that we haven't seen a lot of media houses would have seemed to highlight. There are a lot of people defecting from the UNC. Plenty people going in and plenty people leaving. Now, before I go into this discussion here this afternoon, I have to say that I have a bias. And here, where's my bias? There are two people in the UNC that are holding very high esteem. Dinesh Rambally being one of them. And the next one is Kyle Taklal Singh. I mean, how they present information, it is unprecedented by any other. And throughout the course of the internal election, we here have been monitoring it very closely. Why? I mean, we have to be logical here, you know, regardless of whatever side you like, you ain't like, the information is there, it is facts. It is factual that the sun rises in the east, sets in the west. It is factual that it are other forces, it are gravity. It are the North Pole, these things are fact. Now, Dinesh Rambally would have migrated from the UNC and went to the PNM. Now, we would have picked him up on a platform speaking and encouraging people to vote for the PNM. Now, many of you may see that and turn off the TV, but why? Why? Let us examine the facts here, Trinidad and Tobago. We have to be real with ourselves in the things that we are saying. There are people that pretending that never happened. We see Anita Haynes, she and all would have left something on her Facebook page. A resignation letter in the sight of everyone to see. And what we are going to do here, we are going to pull up that letter and we will go through it with a fine-teeth comb. Because to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, there is something taking place. And where I am or where you are within the party, within the UNC party, it may be from a different position. Dinesh Rambally, many of you outside, they may not have known. Let me see. Let me tell you who is Dinesh. Dinesh Rambally, a matter of fact, Pundit Dinesh Rambally is a Trinidadian and Tobagonian politician, attorney, and Hindu priest. And Hindu priest for the United National Congress, executive member of the Sunata Dhamma Mahasabha. He represents Shogunas West in the House of Representatives in 2020 to 2025. He is also Indo-Trinidad descent. He intended to stand again in 2025 in Trinidad and Tobago general election. He later withdrew his candidacy. He was highly critical of his party leader, Kamla Prasad Biseta. He cited divisive racial rhetoric in his party for his decision. So he withdrew. Dinesh Rambally would have withdrawn his candidacy. He said he's not going up. He said that is for the divisive racial rhetoric. And on no platform, citizens of the Republic, we would have seen they reported this anyway. Now, you are outside, many of you are outside, many of you are saying yellow is the code. And we would have seen 5 active members, 5 people. We know Rodney Charlie resigned. So we had Dinesh Rambally, Rushton Parry, Anita Haynes, Rai Ragbear, and Rodney Charles, they would have stand up and say, the party need new leadership, and this is what is going on, and we decided to vote in a particular direction, and they will ostracize, as we would have seen Rushton. I am sure that, at this point in time, I am sure that he is still willing to serve the people of Mayaro. Now, that is very ticklish. In this election, trust me, it might have a little upset there. Now we see Anita Haynes. You see Dinesh Rambally. You see Rai Ragbear always on a campaign trail. So, what we are going to do here this afternoon is to go in to that campaign speech in which let me go into it entirely, a matter of fact. Because as I am saying, there are many people defecting from the UNC, and we should know why. I mean, to you, the people, if you don't want to know why people is leaving. In a shocking twist, Dinesh Rambally appears to have switched side from the UNC to PNM, sending a clear message across TNT. The UNC is collapsing on its own weight. You can't have so much as disenfranchised members, and these things is not being addressed. You see, the party itself, if the party take the membership seriously and their thoughts and sentiment, matters like this should be addressed. It shouldn't be sidestepped in a fact that, hey, these people didn't get something, so they leave. How much of those people are you going to say that for? The whole Adego Martin, the whole executive, they resigned too. And they would have cited Philip Alexander is too disrespectful. And they are not going along with that. So they didn't get something too, and they resigned. So what is this? Things like these needs to be addressed, friend or no friend. Because here we're going on. If you are aligning yourself with a party, at the end of the day, when things like this takes place, you need to question it. You need to be a responsible person in Trinidad and Tobago and question things like this. Because when things go along within the PNM, I, Renison Jeffrey, would have been paying it off, until, certain people would have called it to my attention. Boy, look what's going on. Look what's taking place. Look what's going on in Library. There are times that we must face facts. Despite what people tell you, support party alone, no, we must be patriot. Because at the end of the day, we are a rich country. And that richness, once it is squandered, we are going to end up in poverty. Thousands of kingdoms throughout history would have fallen to poor leadership. And we could go in straight back to the Peloponnesian War with Pericles and Athens, and we could go into that. Poor guidance could destroy an entire country. Kingdoms would have fallen for that throughout history. So at the end of the day, this dissatisfaction signals deep weakness and betrayal. Proof that the UNC cannot keep promises to the people. As fate is in the opposition crumble, Trinbagonians must demand better leadership and real change. This is a wake-up call for the entire nation of Trinidad and Tobago. The truth is within this hand. Nice slogan, when UNC win, everybody wins. When UNC win, when they win, everybody win. When. Bear that in mind. Because at the end of the day, we need to be inclusive. There are many people that fall under the ostracy in Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, we come from different class, different walks of life, and every creed and race must find an equal place. And there are people here that, the displease of what that's be said here on this platform because we are independent regardless to what. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going and play a video from Victor Roberts in its entirety, and then we are going to go into the breakdown with Dinesh Rambally and why he would have left it within his own words. Whether you decide to say lie, that is your business. But on this platform here, the truth must be sung from whatever direction, a matter of fact. Track number 1.
Blessed good morning to all. What code are they talking about? What code are they jumping and prancing for a few dollars about code and yellow and code and all that kind of nonsense? All they really knows what goes on inside of the UNC? All they know anything? All they just jumping. All they know what's going on inside of the UNC? I was in the belly of the UNC, and I could tell you what does go on inside there. I was in the UNC because I have decided I am going to fight for good governance in this country, and I will continue to do so. But let me tell you what happened. The second or the last meeting we had in Rampasad building, when the leader called me and asked me, Victor, what we need to do to win this election? And I said to her, look, all we need to do is to get rid of those individuals who is involved in corruption, who has allegations of corruption against them. Once the name jumping in corruption, put them in the back. Find young, fresh, bright individuals to put in the front line. You know what was said to me? You know what was said to me? What was said to me is, Victor Roberts, what you want me to do? Remove people like Ratiram and Padarat and Munilal and others and put people like you? What does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? All of you jumping and balling, yellow is code. What does that mean? You work it out. To the end of the day, I led many protests against the Rowley administration. Many. Never one day looked for a cent from any one of them inside of the UNC to conduct my protests. I did it out of my own pocket. Never looked for a cent, because good governance is not looking for something. Good governance is not jumping and prancing. Good governance is to ensure that you have people and hold them accountable for their actions. You see that new chapter that Stuart Young speaks of? That is what I intend to follow, because inside of that new chapter, there's a place for everybody. In that new chapter, ladies and gentlemen, it speaks of the development of the young people. It speaks of the energy sector. It speaks of the agriculture sector. It speaks about every ministry, national security, code of ethics. Everything is inside there, and that is what we must stand for. So I am prepared to give Stuart Young that chance to unroll that new chapter. And let me tell you this, inside of that new chapter, there is a place for the young and the future generation. This is what we need in this country. It's about time people stop thinking about self and put country first. That is the mission going forward. So you see all this dotishness about yellow is the code for a few dollars. Look, or let get off of that idiotic kind of thinking. Because let me tell you this before I close. All that is to put a cent in your pocket for today. But how are you going to live tomorrow? The new chapter is the way to go. And I am supporting Stuart Young and the new chapter going forward. I gone.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that was Victor Roberts there. And you know, to be fair with the gentleman, you know, today, at this last hour here, I decided to go through some things. Or you remember when Alan Roberts used to do his program, the Douglas Politics. Or you remember that Douglas Politics program? Now, there was a guy named Archie. Or you ever ask yourself, where is Archie? Where Archie is? Where is Archie? Where is Archie? Now, before I go into that, let me tell you something. Victor is a man that, you know, I was with. When he talks, somehow that's fine. You know, the man aggressive. Yeah, a little bit aggressive. Now, I'm behind the scene here looking for a video. I wanted to see this video here to show you the history and the depth. The history and the depth as to where Victor Roberts is talking about. Many of you say he didn't get what you want. But I was there. I could talk. Or you can't talk. Trust what I'm telling you. Or you can't talk concerning what Victor Roberts is saying. Just yes, what Victor Roberts is saying there, I tell you, I sit down next to him and I heard him. Right, so this is the clip here. Victor Roberts here in this clip. There were many protests that, we went on. This was in Claxton Bay. This protest here, we was doing a Monday night meeting, a matter of fact. Monday night meeting.
Hey, when we look at what you have done to this country, you have destroyed the fabric of Trinidad and Tobago. You have destroyed the future of the youths of this country. We have people who are well qualified, who spend time studying, expecting, coming out of high school, coming out of college, whether it's with their 6, 7, 8 passes, their diplomas and their bachelor's degree, expecting that there is a future for them in this country because their parents have spent money educating them, granting them the opportunity to come out of the educational system looking for a job. And to the end of the day, Keith Rowley, you have destroyed the hopes of the young people in this country. You have destroyed the hopes of those who have burnt the candle night and day in order to get a proper education. You have destroyed every aspect of development in this country. There are persons who worked, put aside their savings, who have contributed to their medical and their pensions in different organizations. And because of your policy, Keith Rowley, today these citizens have to go and line up with a healthcare system that continue to deteriorate under your watch. A healthcare system where Kamla Prasad Bisesa had brought it to the place where people were comfortable, people were being looked at on a timely manner in the health sector. Today, ladies and gentlemen, under Keith Christopher Rowley, you have to make an appointment, and sometimes your appointment date is 10, 5, and 15 years. That is what Keith Rowley has done to this country. And we as the citizens of this country, we have the onus on us to stand up with our members of parliament, those who you have elected to look after your affairs, those who you have elected to represent you within the parliamentary system, those who you have appointed to make decisions on your behalf. Today, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at what is happening within the parliamentary system in this country, it tells you that your vote have no say.
Now, that was Victor Roberts when we were on the road. So many of you outside there is saying, what Victor talking about? What Victor talking about? What he saying? Now, there was a name that I called, where is Archie? Does the UNC really have a history that when people speak out, they ostracize them no matter what they say? Now, I as a man does keep proof, evidence, a matter of fact. So this gentleman here, Victor Roberts, and the Archie who does be behind all the UNC programs from before. The guy there would have spearheaded all the live stream ever since. Now, there is a tape in it. Now, we would have went on the field to gather information for UNC Monday night meeting. And this is the level that these individuals would have gone out for the party. Or you see the heights of bush that we was in all over this country, finding and looking for information, going back for evidence to bring to you, the general public. In all different places, all about, if I sit down here and ask some with Rudal to, I'm a fuck, I go think. Let me play this tape here so you go understand what I'm talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we are on the field, and I'm so happy to have this gentleman who we give all the burden of fixing we live, editing we live, having it up and running. A matter of fact, I am certain that this man don't have time for himself. I am certain that this man very well mightn't have time to do other things. Jeffrey, I say other things. But I'm so happy
No
today.
comment.
No comment. I'm so happy today to have Archie on the field, because let me tell you something. I consider Archie to be one of the most hard worker in the UNC. And I say that without fear and without favor. Archie worked harder than everybody else. Everybody else. Take that from me. And today, I'm proud to be in the field with Archie as we continue to do the work to bring about better governance in this country. Archie, thank you for being out here today.
Right, now we go somewhere again.
So, to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, when I come here, I don't talk fluff. There is so much of information that could be talked here on this platform that when the horns start to blow, it could destroy parties. Where is Archie? Where was the tanks so much years? Where was the tanks? And this is what I am concerned about. I was always here in the background seeing that what was taking place from all different parts. I see here, I see there, I think so. Where was the tanks? Is it that the many of us are putting ourselves to a cause that we cannot question? And when Dinesh Rambally, let me come back because I don't want to mix up. I tell you, there is a lot that I could come out. A matter of fact. Now this is the studio inside the studio here again.
First of all, I want to welcome you regionally, locally, internationally. Welcome to Facts, Not Fiction. Of course, today being Sunday,
as I say, there's a lot of things that I could show to you, the members of the public, that we need to question ourselves in terms of where blind leadership is concerned. Everybody have our opinion. The anthem, a matter of fact, the watchwords, let me don't go so far. The watchwords, together we aspire, together we achieve. The anthem would have said all creed and race find an equal place. But are we really equals? Does these parties and them, and I'm broadening it, because I don't want you to feel that I'm zeroing on a particular party. If that is what you think, so be it. Or I can live with that. I can sleep with that definition. When it is these parties and them is campaigning at this point in time throughout Trinidad and Tobago, can we reach them after election? Can we have a conversation with them after election? Does these parties and them care for us after the election bell rang and everything settled, can we reach them? And for that same reason that I and Sheldon Khan would have placed ourselves to represent the people of Point Fortin and Labrador respectively, can we reach the parties and them after election? When you call them, when you pick up your phone and you put your last $20 card, go and you might be borrow $10 to make up with your 10 and decide to call a party, a minister that you would have elected on election day. Dip your hand and then you get up early, somehow you need, and now you go on to the polling station because you don't want to miss out because we party at a win. But can we see these parties and them after election? Can we hear about the MPs and them after election when there is no water in your pipes? Can we complain, and is the complaint is going to fall on deaf ears? I could answer it, because every day I just get a call from people from different areas and different parts of Trinidad and Tobago complaining. And when you check, it's MPs from on both sides of the fence. Can we see them after election? Boy, this thing real different here, you know. This thing is a different thing here, you know. And they are information. I'm a tough fucker. I don't want to think. I'm going to go into the thing with Dinesh. And we go start to break down this thing here on this platform. Right, so this here is the tape here with Dinesh Rambally. He would have mounted up a PNM platform and speak. And some of the things the gentleman would have said, my God. My God. At least take some shame off your face and address this, the people, the executives within the UNC. That is all I have to say.
Good evening, PNM family.
PNM.
Ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and all of you, my PNM family.
PNM.
I want to thank all of you for the welcome, for giving me a chance to share my short message here this evening. I want to share something with you. So, for time, I stand on all the protocols already established. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to start by thanking the political leader of the People's National Movement, Dr. Keith Rowley. I want to say thank you to Dr. Rowley for having me here this evening. I want to particularly thank my sister, Miss Camille Robinson Regis. Camille Robinson Regis, your love and your warmth has overwhelmed me. All the ladies in this audience, I hope you all are beautiful and loving like Miss Robinson Regis. and the love from everyone else of you, all who have been here on the platform, those who were here and those to come, and especially all of you in the audience. You know, I have to say, listening to all that I have heard in the PNM platform for the last few weeks, and especially from our Prime Minister, the Honorable Stuart Young, Senior Counsel, it is refreshing, ladies and gentlemen, it is refreshing to see what good governance looks like, and I will know, given where I have come from. But I want to tell you, my journey here has not been easy. Since Thursday night when I attended the PNM meeting in Sangre Grande, I have been facing an unprecedented level of hate and abuse on social media and from the UNC platform. And this is despite the fact that they know that I have publicly extracted myself from the Kamla-led UNC. But I want to warn you all, I want to warn Trinidad and Tobago. You see that negativity? It is not directed at me alone, you know, at Dinesh Rambally. It is directed from Kamla and her minions because they intend to have a leadership in this country that demands blind obedience and not intelligent and reasonable thought. UNC leadership demands putting party before country, and I could not abide with that. And I want to tell you, you should not abide with any party that puts the party before your country.
You respect that?
So when I say I feel very confident hearing about the vision for taking the country forward from the Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Stuart Young, Senior Counsel, you must believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that I know what I am talking about. I have been there, and last April 2024, I went public to plead for good governance in the UNC. But that and all, it fell on deaf ears. Imagine calling for good governance, branded me as a PNM. So if I demanded good governance is being PNM, then hell yes, I am PNM.
PNM. Great is the PNM. PNM.
So I say to all of you today that I support the PNM in these elections. Ladies and gentlemen, when you look all around the world, the lesson is clear. Good governance is not something you should take for granted. So don't take the stability that Keith Rowley has given us over the last decade. When I looked at the vision for the PNM, and for the future of this country, it was not something I could ignore. And this is my message to you today. This PNM party is not about code. It is not about code. This PNM party is not about secrecy. It is not about any small black book and a big brown bag. No, that is not what this party is about. Remember that. And I want to tell all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that the People's National Movement is being straight. It is being honest. And they are doing so with you when they tell you about prudent fiscal management, so we don't bankrupt ourselves and our children in the years to come. So ladies and gentlemen, just think for a moment. The easiest thing would be, you think about it, the easiest thing would be for the PNM to stand here today and out-promise everything the other side is wildly promising the country. That would be easy. But this is not a party that is satisfied with easy. This is a party that has manhandled the challenges that came to us in the recent past with courage, and they did not complain. And while this PNM is firm in their commitment to inclusivity and harmony, the other party is in a purge mode. The UNC knows the art of purging very well, the leadership. But in this PNM party, I, Dinesh Rambally, can vouch here today. All are welcome in this party. In this party here, you will not see deceit and deal making. You will not have secrecy in governance. You will not have internet influencers and Cambridge Analytica. And I want to tell you, then, as if to counter the hatred and divisiveness, the UNC leadership only recently started to preach love. But I want to warn you today, that is not real love. That is gaslighting. That love that they are preaching will definitely not pay your grocery bills or get you favorable energy deals. And don't, Trinidad and Tobago, don't miss it, the big writing on the wall. That love will not deal and address the issue of devaluation. So brothers and sisters, the PNM has demonstrated that it is a government with stability. You can feel confident that they will have your back as we confront the geopolitical pressures that affect us and the wider Caribbean. I want to tell you that I am confident that a Stuart Young-led government will look after each and every one of you.
PNM.
It will make us grow economically. It is inclusive of all peoples. You can be assured of that, regardless of your religion, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, or whatever. This PNM government will serve you.
PNM.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is perhaps the biggest difference that I have observed between this party, the PNM, and the next. The PNM is ready to be servants of the people, servants of the country. And you have to remember, on the other hand, leadership outside of this platform is going to ride on your back to prop themselves up as leaders who are only interested in becoming Trinidadian royalty. I want to warn you, I heard one of the speakers here this evening refer to it. After they lose on Monday, it will just be a matter of time before everybody in the so-called coalition of interests, they fall out and they start to bash each other. You will hear all the exposés about all the deals they have made all around with former political enemies coming out of the woodwork. You will hear about the plans they hatch to prop up each other in power. I want to tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, today, don't support leadership which encourages hate, divisiveness, and intimidation. Ladies and gentlemen, such leadership will divide us if you let them. Such leadership will destroy our country's reputation around the world if you let them. But brothers and sisters, they can do none of it if you vote right. They can do none of that if you vote red. They can do none of it if you vote responsibly on Monday, 28th April. They can do none of it if you vote for the PNM.
PNM.
So if you want governance that you can be proud of, vote for the Stuart Young-led PNM. I have joined, and I'm asking citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to join the Stuart-led PNM government. Let us begin the new chapter together with the Honorable Prime Minister Stuart Young, and let us as a country and a people write our own history. Let us write and create our own story. And let us herald another dawn in responsible and sober-minded politics. So as I end, I want to tell you, my journey to this point in the politics has not been an easy one. For some of you, the journey to the polls may not be an easy one on Monday. But do not let any kind of fear or intimidation stop you from going to vote on Monday. I ask you to stand tall. I ask you to persevere. Hold your heads high. And when you get into the voting booth, it will be you and it will be your God. No one else. Just you and God. And ladies and gentlemen, in that moment when you are with your God in that voting booth, put Trinidad and Tobago first and vote for the PNM.
PNM.
Trinidad and Tobago citizens, all of you here, my brothers and sisters, let us do this on Monday for Trinidad and Tobago. And come Monday, 28th of April, I want to join you. And I want to join you in lifting that baluché when we will all say, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. Trinidad and Tobago shall prevail. Thank you.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM. Great is the PNM.
We are one.
New chapter for TNT. We're red, ready, and responsible. Vote PNM.
Now, people of Trinidad and Tobago. Right, now people of Trinidad and Tobago. Right. Now that was Dinesh Rambally. And what he would have said there, all of it is self-explanatory. All of it is self-explanatory. Something that we should be concerned about here in this country. So, as I said, Dinesh Rambally then hard was to go against the leadership. I believe he honestly would have cared about the future of the UNC party. And a man like him, a man like all the rest of them cannot back down. Anita Haynes have been seen in many in a UNC rally. As a matter of fact, we should go on to Facebook here now and pull it up. A lot of strange things is taking place. A lot of strange things is taking place. She have a big letter. Right. So let me go and see if I pull up that letter here with Anita Haynes. seeing the letter. Let me. Searching on our next page here. See if I find this letter and pull it so you can see. Seen that letter at all. But anyway, Anita Haynes would have write something based on similar sentiment. So we hold 1 second. Let me see if I find that letter somewhere, because all these things that is taking place here within right, I had also go behind some screens there to see what was taking place. Now, there's a letter about Anita Haynes would have she would have placed that within the public domain. She would have released this letter on May 26. Nation building politics must be criticized by inclusiveness and cooperation. Through my political career, I have consistently advocated for the increased participation of all citizens and the utilizations of different perspectives to develop a robust data-driven politics. In recent years, my commitment to advocate responsible and respectfully politics has not put me at odds with the United National Congress. Nevertheless, I sought to navigate the party's internal mechanism to strengthen the organization and attract more citizens into the decision-making process. I remain hopeful that through dialogue and internal challenge, reform and reward was possible. The effort was unsuccessful, and the gap between policies and the direction of the UNC under its current leadership continues to dwindle. So Anita Haynes would have said something very similar. However, the print of is a little too small. So anyway, print is a little too small. We are going to post it on our page, on our Facebook page after, so you go have a look concerning the letter. Now, there are many people in the UNC right about now is speaking out, and they are saying inclusiveness. There are no inclusiveness, and that is the leitmotif of the direction that they are going. A group of people, 5 of them would have stand up and speak out against certain things. They say, Dinesh, warning the public that after election, you go see what will take place. Well, let us see. So tomorrow is election day, and many of you are going to the poll. There are people that walking around with people polling cards and saying, hey, go and vote for this person, and they have it within the runners and them, the car. And they're saying, go and vote for this person. That is all I have to say. So to the many of you that are outside here, thanks for joining me here live on this platform. I know I didn't open the lines, as a matter of fact. I would have seen Miss Arima here was trying to make a contribution concerning that. Probably should call her back, boy. Right, so thanks for watching and being a part of this program this afternoon. And you decide, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, what you are going to do on Monday. Vote for people that represent you, Trinidad and Tobago. I did not overstate what I and Sheldon can have been doing in this area. Tremendous work. People from all over. And I could go into and I could go into Sheldon Facebook page, you know, but next time. Right, let me see if I could pull up at least Miss Arima. Miss Arima does always call in and give her 2 cents. So let me hear what Miss Arima has to say. Miss Arima, hold on there. I'll give you a call. Don't worry yourself. If you didn't get through now, I'll give you a call just now. I know it does always be a part. Let me hook up the phone line there. Right. I know Miss Arima does always think so. Miss Arima, let me see if I can get you back there. I don't know what went on there. Yeah. Miss Arima, good evening.
Yes, good evening. Well, boy, listen now. What in the dark come in the light? Hello?
I see you trying to call a lot of times here. I say at least,
Yes,
you know, it has
I tried
called.
about 4 times.
Right,
Yes.
so what going
But
on? Where's your
I'm glad you take
contribution?
my call.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about Mr. Victor Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
No, what he said is true, and we all know that. That man protest, he talk, he do all kind of things. And when you ain't getting the backup, you hear, it's real hard. That man was on the ground all over. So I understand, because I was with him already when he went by the United Nations protesting and had a hard time in getting in. All kind of thing that man go through for the UNC. It had a time when I was speaking out too, and I used to call his program, and you couldn't tell Victor anything bad about the UNC. As they say, you're talking bad about the party, because you see they're for party, you're telling them something, you're showing them something, and they ain't taking you on, you're fighting hard. Up to today, I talking something about the UNC on another talk show, and that foolish man will tell me that I am PNM. Yeah. That is why I just had to say all kind of funny words. I mean, you're so done. She's a big talk show host. I always talking. People just hear Miss Arima all over. And then they just call me black jacket, white jacket. But you see what happened there with Dinesh Rambally, too? And the Anita Haynes and the this one and the that one were looking just like Kamala, because Victor ain't looking like she, you know. He wasn't in the government with them before, and he wasn't in the parliament and thing, you know. He's just an older man. But you see, when your own flea bite you, you understand? Danish looking like she.
I understand because that's the same thing as saying this is something that we should be concerned about, because these are the facts, a matter of fact. These are not bacchanal talk. People hearing and seeing.
She own flea bite she, and I did tell them that 2 years ago, in time to come, the PNM is going to pay people I didn't know was he, but I predict it, and I said the PNM is going to pay them when it come into election to cross the floor. You see, because the mafia is real, and these people cannot afford to lose because of all kind of thing they do. This is why I keep begging for international observers. And the sleepyhead UNC stay there and they never push. I keep advocating and pushing and I get enough cuss. You know why I get cuss and views up? Because it's looking bad. The sleepyhead, sleeping beauty ain't doing nothing.
No, well,
She coward. She keep asking the prime minister. She tell him who to write to. It has so much organization. There's too little bit of people they bring in here to macko this thing. It ain't making sense. And on top of that, when he insists that they bring CARICOM, which I keep telling them to, we can't trust them. And they were saying it, and when they come, they hug them up. The UNC hug them up. So they can't call Dinesh Rambally coward and all of that. All of them coward. They're for party.
You see, and
I talking out.
you see,
I am a UNC and I talking out. They're for party.
you see, we had to be. You see, the only way we could start to fix the problem, you had to be truthful. You had to come out and talk, and we had to work from it because Arima, you somebody who does always be giving contribution. I hear your all programs in it. To be quite honest. I know a lot of people who just call in because plenty of the program I was behind it as a technical assistant. And we just memorize voices, as a matter of fact. And you was one of them for many years. It have Mr. I think is Claxton Bay. He did too. You understand? It have Anna Montu. We know all of them. We know them by voice. We can tell. And the thing about it is there are certain people that they doesn't want to take information from. You know, if it was somebody else, they would have taken from them.
Who high on top? You have to be a lawyer. Some MP in the party. You understand? Then they will listen, but they don't listen to people on the ground like Victor and me. So
they can't. They
when
go
you
listen to
talk in
Victor.
a certain way, yes, a PNM. And this, look what Rambally do them. They didn't expect that. They couldn't see that. But what I could see, I know about the mafia. And I know that they fix heat or soup. Right? Expect the unexpected.
Well, I'm
hoping and praying that they win tomorrow, the UNC. I don't be talking yellow is the code. And, you know, when UNC win, I don't like the showing off and the excitement. I like to wait and pray. I do my work. I fight hard for years, right? And I just waiting to see what the Lord is going to do now because that is all we have. The Lord God Jehovah to put his hand because I know them fighting hard to see what they could do. They have 99 tricks up the two sleeves and it's only God to step in inside of here. Well, that is all I have to say.
Well, I remember thanks for your contribution and you know when you go out tomorrow, make sure and vote responsible. That is what I need you to do. Vote responsible tomorrow.
Okay. And you, I wish you all the best too.
Yes, thank you very much. Day. Yeah, you too.
Okay, yes.
Right, so people of Trinidad and Tobago, at this point in time, I am going and sign off. But to the many of you that are outside here, to the thousands of you that are viewing, we can't deny what we are seeing. We can't deny what is taking place outside here. The only thing that could save Trinidad and Tobago right now is God. Trust what I'm saying. That's the only thing that could save Trinidad and Tobago because on the ground, it's very dissatisfying what I am seeing down here. So when you go outside outside there tomorrow, vote responsible. To the many of you on the chat. On the chat, good afternoon to you. I have a smaller screen there to work with here, but God, man, smiley, man. You day. Vote for betterment, the country, right. Vote for UNC. OYI, yeah, he say vote for UNC. Asha Mohammed, this talk show host looks like he is a PNM. Neutrality, that is why Miss Asha Mohammed, neutral. We had to be neutral. You see, before I go, let me pull up a thing for you. I feel I need to answer some questions this afternoon. This afternoon, I have to answer some questions. And that is a blindness. What has been taking place with people when they do not know how to assess things from on both sides of the fence. Let me pull up our research for you. Right, to you on the chat here now. This is a direct response to Miss Ashan Mohammed. So, Mr. Mohammed, I'm going to tell you what is going on when people not are paying attention to everything. Now, what you are seeing there is what we call availability heuristics. Availability heuristics is a mental shortcut that relies on an immediate example that comes to mind. Evaluating a specific topic or decision, it suggested that if something can be recalled easily, it is perceived as more important or more likely to occur than alternatives that are not readily recallable. This cognitive bias can lead to a skewed judgment on decisions, as people may overestimate the likelihood of events based on how easily they are remembered in similar instances. And you know, to go into that piece of explanation there is to state this fact. Now, what is taking place on the ground and what you are seeing on social media is something totally different. Because how we gather our information is affecting how we see things in reality. So if you are a person that has get up and listen to one radio station, one talk show in the morning time, all what you are hearing is geared to what your belief. What you believe in, you go and you search it out, and over a period of time, that belief would have carry you or direct you within a particular pattern that you are seeing the world from that angle. So many of us are saying, and yet, boy, people saying all kind of things, yellow, red. But what is actually taking place in society is this. I could tell you on the ground. This election here is one of the most controversial. No party, none of them have any clear winnings in sight. That is both PNM and UNC. People, yes, are disenfranchised with the PNM, and they are also disenfranchised with the UNC as well. There are many supporters on both sides. There's good, there's bad, there's the ugly. Nobody is not perfect. But what people is looking for is a leader that is seeing the imperfections and is willing to work on it. Not by ostracizing certain people like Dinesh Rambally, Rai Rakbeer, Anita Haynes, Rushton Parry, when Rodney Charles say he come out of politics, it's not by ostracizing these people, but including their perspective and allowing it to reshape the directions of the party. That is leadership. Now, at the end of the day, people didn't want Rowley. Like, I don't know, like Keith Rowley here. And at the end of the day, he stepped down and he gave us Stuart. What is that? So to you, the members of the public, my name is Renison Jeffrey. This is the Workers' Rights Platform. And do the right thing tomorrow. Be responsible. So the many of you that in the library area or you have a family down here, tell them, vote for Renison tomorrow in library. Encourage them. Because what they are about to get is representation unlike any other. So at this point in time, we are about to sign off. I am out. Take care. Tomorrow, representation is the code. And it's that. Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching.